is great for people who sit for long periods of time. So when we sit a lot, we're weakening and shortening our hip flexors. This video has a lot of hip mobility exercises and exercises to activate your hips. Hi, I'm Miranda. I use the pronouns she, her, and I'd like to acknowledge that I'm on Coast Salish land. Welcome to the Yoga Wild YouTube channel. Today, I'll be teaching a class on how to activate our hips. For me, I spend a lot of time in a chair because I'm an esthetician, and because I'm sitting, I have weakened hip flexors. So today, I'll be talking about how we can activate our hip flexors and strengthen and increase mobility in other parts of our hips. For class, there's an option to use a block. So if you want to use a block, go ahead and grab one now and set it at the top of your mat. To start, we'll begin in a seated position, feet in front of you. You can bring your hands behind you. You can lean back just a little bit. We'll just start by bringing some motion to our hip joints. So we'll just windshield our knees side to side. Okay. Just bringing a little attention and awareness to our hips. Maybe just noticing any areas that feel a little sticky or tight. Just be here for 3 more rounds of breath. Just bringing circulation to our hips. Good. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. And we'll work into supine pigeon on the right first. So bringing your right ankle above the left knee, go ahead and open your right knee to the back wall. Okay? Bring activation to your toes. So you want to flex your right toes back to protect the right knee. Okay? And start to bring your left thigh in towards your chest. Okay? For some people, you might feel this right away on the outer right hip. Okay? If you're already feeling this, just stay here. If you need more of a stretch in your outer right hip, grab through the thighs. You can clasp your hands behind the left thigh, and then you can start to bring the left thigh even closer to your chest. Okay? Keeping your low back rooted on the mat. Keeping your breath nice and full. If it feels good, you can find a little motion, maybe side to side, front and back. Okay. Maintaining activation in your right toes. Okay. Then go ahead and release and bring your knees in towards your chest and the side bodies, just finding a little stretch. You can roll out your ankles here. Go ahead and drop your right leg and set up for supine pigeon on the left. So bring your left ankle above the right knee. Open your left knee. Okay? Activate your toes. Flex your toes back. Okay? And you can begin to bring your right thigh towards your chest. Okay? I already feel this a lot in my left outer hip. So you can just stay here. If you need a little more sensation, go ahead and grab through your thighs. Okay, and then you can press your right thigh towards your chest. Okay, we're just warming up, so there's no need to force your body into position. And again, sending attention and awareness to your hips. Maybe noticing where you feel a little tighter. You want to find a little intuitive movement, that's always welcome. Just being mindful to protect the left knee. And we'll stay here for another breath cycle. And then releasing the leg, bringing the legs down to the mat. Okay? Keep your feet hip-width distance, and then just knock your knees together. Just finding a release on your low back. And the same thing here, if you like a little windshield wiper motion, if that feels good, you can take a couple rounds of breath here. The knees back into chest. You can roll up onto a seat. Next, we'll work into a 90-90 stretch. This is a hip mobility practice that has internal and external rotation happening at the same time in the hips. Okay, so I'll set it up from the side here. Okay, we're just working towards a 90-degree angle in the front leg and a 90-degree angle in the back. So take your time to set it up. Okay, so heel and knee line up. Okay, for some bodies, you might not quite get there, and that's okay. We're just working towards that 90 and 90. If this is already feeling like a lot of strain in your hips, this might be a good time to go ahead and grab a block. Grab your block and bring it close to you. Okay? It's really important to activate the toes here to protect the knees. So you're working just like in that supine pigeon, right toes activated back, okay? Left toes activated up towards the knee. Okay? Now we're in position. A really important aspect of this stretch is to press down in the right ankle and throughout that whole right shin and right knee. This is not a passive stretch. This is always going to be an active stretch. Okay, so now that we're in the 99 stretch, I'm going to just pivot towards the front. Okay, and the block might be useful if you feel that you're slouching down in either side bodies. I'm fairly open in the hips, so this is, I feel fine without a prop here. But if you're feeling like you're slouching over in either area, you can bring a block and place it beneath your hand. This is going to keep your body upright. You're always working to keep the body upright, shoulders down and back, side bodies long. Okay. And again, either side works. Okay. I'm really activated in my right ankle and my right shin all the way through my right knee. Okay. Always important to breathe. And we'll stay here. This is option 1. If you're feeling a lot in your hips, again, we're internally rotated in the back leg and externally rotated in that front hip. And you can just stay here. If you need more sensation, you want more sensation, slowly, you'll start to lean your chest forward. Okay, just a couple inches. If you need the hands there, they're always there. That's an option. I'm thoroughly pressing down on my front leg. Again, this is an active stretch. Okay, so I'm pressing, I'm rooting down in this right leg. Okay, the second option, moving forward with the chest, is to bring your hands to heart center. Okay, I feel this a lot in my right glute and my outer right hip. Okay, good. If you're leaning forward, go ahead and come back to center. We're going to move that action 3 times. And again, if this is enough, just stay here and breathe. If at any point you need to come out, that's okay. Okay. If you're moving forward, hands to center, or you can have your hands down on the ground. Okay. I'll lean forward and pressing really hard down in my front leg. Breathing, super active, okay, and then back up. Do that one more time. Okay, lean forward. You're still upright in your chest, but you're leaning forward, pressing so much into the right ankle and right knee. Breathing. Okay, good. And then back to center. Okay, then you'll reach your hands behind you. I'm going to adjust my back legs so it's a little bit more in that 90 degree. Okay, and we'll lean back, opening through this left hip flexor. I even feel this in my left glute and outer left hip. Okay, again, that's normal. If you want to bring the block along, that's always an option. Okay, this gives you more height and more support. Okay, good. We'll come back up. Same thing here. We're just gonna go 2 times to the back, and if this is feeling like too much, just stay here in this active stretch. Okay. Lean back, opening through that left hip flexor, breathing. Okay. Back to center. Good. And then one more time back. Maybe you're finding a little bit more depth this time as we're opening up into the left hip. I'm still active in my front leg, flexing both toes back. Okay, good. And then back to center. Okay, you can go ahead and swing your front leg forward. Let's do like a little butterfly action, bringing the soles of the feet together. Okay, we're working external rotation in our hips. Okay, stay here if you want a little flutter. So as always an option. And shaking it out a little bit. Then we'll come forward with the legs. And again, if that feels good to just shake it out a bit, you can. Okay. Then we'll set up for the 90-90 stretch on the left side. Okay, so setup is really important, always the foundation. Okay. Foundation is always really important. Okay, so again, you're just working towards 90-degree angle in the back leg and 90-degree angle in the front. Both sides of our bodies are different, so if you feel like you're slouching on this side, again, that's normal, and there's an option to use a block. If you're at home, like a nice thick book works as well. You just want a stable surface that you can press weight into. Okay? So if you're slouching, then use something that helps you get nice and long in the upper body. Okay, I'm flexing my left toes back, flexing my right toes. Okay. I'm super active in this front leg, so I'm really actively pressing my left ankle down all the way through my shin and my knee. Okay, I'm pressing down and pressing down. Okay, for a lot of us, this is enough of a stretch. Okay, we'll stay here, breathing. Okay. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to pivot forward. Okay. Because I'm pretty open in my hips, I'll go ahead and work forward just like we did on the first side. Okay, so I'm active, pressing down. You can have your hands in front of you and start to lean the chest forward. Okay. Okay, notice how I'm not slouching over. I'm still upright in my body, but I'm leaning forward. I'm really pressing through that front leg. Okay. The next layer to up level is bringing your hands to your heart. Okay. And then coming forward. This is going to bring way more sensation in that front leg and front outer right hip. And pressing down and breathing. Okay, good. And then come back up. We'll do that 2 more times. Lean forward, pressing through that front leg, flexing the back toes, breathing, and then back up. Okay, 1 more time. Maybe finding a little bit more depth this time. Okay, staying really active. It's an engaged stretch. And then back up. Take a moment to pause. You can release your hands. Okay, and then work your hands behind you. And then we'll lean back just a bit. And if this feels like too much at any point, you can always back out and just stay stagnant in the 90-90 stretch. And so leaning back. Okay, I'm pretty open on my right side, so I can find a lot more depth here. Okay, you might feel this in your right hip flexor, maybe your right glute. Okay, and back up. Good. 2 more times. Okay, lean back. Okay, notice how my front knee wants to lift. Go ahead and bring engagement, pressing down in that front leg. Okay, good. Come back up, and then 1 more time, back and down. Okay, really actively pressing your front leg into the ground. Okay, good. Coming back to center, swing that right leg forward. Okay, maybe shake it out a little bit. Okay. Okay, moving forward, we'll get back into that 90-90 stretch. And this time we'll work on activation through this back part of our body. I'm pressing through the front leg, flexing both toes, working that 90-degree angle in both legs. Okay, so now we'll work some rotation and activation in this back leg. Again, if you need support, it's always there for you. If this is way too much, you're like, no way, I'm not going there, that's okay. Okay? If you want to go ahead to the next level, we're going to work our left knee up off the mat. Okay? And down. We'll do 5 of those. So working the left knee up, I'm really pressing super hard and engaged in this front leg, and down. This is a super active stretch. Okay, good. Lifting up with the knee. Maybe your knee doesn't want to come off very far, and that's okay. Okay, we're just working the engagement to lift the knee off the mat. Okay, one more time. Breathing. Good. Okay. And we'll switch sides. If this feels comfortable, you can just kind of do a little rotation like that without the hands. Okay, don't push it though. You can always use your hands and just work out. And setting it up on the left. Good, active in both toes, pressing down in the front leg. Okay, breathing, body's upright, just avoid any slouching on either side. Okay, if this is just enough, just stay here. If you want to work on the activation on the back leg, okay, we're working this time the knee up and off the mat. Okay, this is a super active stretch. If you feel a little cramping, that's normal. It's a little discomfort, but normal. Okay, we'll do 4 more. Lift, breathing, plant it down. Okay, good. Lift, okay, and down. 2 more. Okay, I feel this a lot in my left glute. Okay, last one, maybe find a little bit more lift. Good, still pressing down that front leg and down. Okay, good. Coming forward, shake it out a little bit. Just a lot of hard work in the hips. Okay, next we'll come up onto our knee, bringing the right foot forward. And I'm going to work a kneeling left hip flexor activation. Okay, stack your shoulders on your hips, okay, and draw your pelvis down. Okay, instantly drawing that pelvis down, you're already activating through that left hip flexor. Okay, you might feel a lot of sensation in your left quad and just know that's normal. Okay, good. So this is a really subtle exercise. It takes a lot of mind-body connection. So you might not feel a lot of movement in your body, and you might not see any movement in my body, but we're just working to connect that engagement. Okay, so it's all about the engagement. Drawing the pelvis down, okay, flexing that left glute, and finding activation in our left hip flexor. Okay, breathing. Here for 3 seconds. Okay, and then you can relax. Okay, if this is a lot in your lower knee, you can always use your mat and curl up. A little extra cushion space. Okay, and then we'll do this 2 more times, 3 seconds with the activation. Okay. Draw your pelvis down. There's a little engagement in the core, shoulders down and back. Okay, reaching the crown of your head up. Okay, so breathing here for 2 more breaths. Okay, again, this is not passive, this is an active stretch. I feel this a lot in my left quad. Okay, and then relax. And I'm super quad dominant, so in this stretch, you can feel it in different areas of your body, but I feel a lot in my quad and again in my left hip flexor. Okay, and then draw the pelvis down, breathe. Okay, 3 breaths here. And we're working to strengthen any shortened or weakened hip flexors. Okay, good. Relax. And we'll switch to the other side. Okay, left foot forward this time. Okay, there's a tendency for an anterior tilt. Okay. Drawing the pelvis down, stack the shoulders on top of the hips, little core activation, breathing, side bodies long. Okay, so you're drawing the pelvis down, pushing that right hip flexor forward, breathing here for 3 seconds. I feel it less on this side. Breathing and relax. Okay, 2 more times. Okay, draw the pelvis down, push that right hip flexor forward. It's a really active stretch. Okay, last breath here, and then relax. Okay. Okay, last time through. Draw the pelvis down, core active, nice and strong, breath is full, breathe. Okay, last breath in, breath out. And go ahead and relax. Okay. And next, we'll work into a high plank. So the next exercises we'll be doing is more of activating and strengthening the hip flexors. So again, like I talked before in the video at the beginning, I sit a lot. Okay? So when I'm sitting for most of the day, I'm weakening and shortening these hip flexors, which can cause an array of problems, but mostly for me, it causes a lot of tightness in my low back. Okay, so working into this strengthening and active posture. Okay, we'll set up high plank, stacking the wrists right beneath the shoulders, getting nice and strong in our core, and our inner thighs are turned on. You're shooting your heels towards the back wall, and the crown of the head goes forward. Okay, good. With the breath in, okay, bring your right knee in towards your chest. Okay, you stay in that plank position. Okay, you're here for 3 seconds. And then back to high plank. You can come down to your knees, rest for a second. Okay, and then back up. Okay, so turning on your core. Good, engaging your inner thighs, and then bring your right knee in towards your chest. Okay, here for 3, 2, 1. Back to high plank. Maybe you want to come down to your knees. Okay, you can take a down dog in between if you like. Okay, and again, back to high plank. We're just working the right side. Bring your knee into your chest, hold. Okay, drawing your core up and in, breathe, release. If you like to take a little child's pose, that's always an option. And we'll do 2 more on the right side. Coming to high plank, getting nice and strong. Right knee into your chest. See if you can lift your knee a little bit higher. Breathing. Okay, release. Down to knees. Take a breath. Okay, last one this side. See if you can bring your knee even a little bit higher. Okay, we're strengthening our right hip flexor here. Good, we're here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay, then find a child's pose for 3 breaths. And come up to hands and knees to do the left side. Again, we're always starting in a stable and strong base. High plank, wrists are stacked right beneath the shoulders, drawing the shoulder heads down and back. Engage the core, inner thighs are active. Okay. Then drive your left knee in towards your chest. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Back to high plank, down to the knees. We're just taking a breath or 2. and then popping right back up. Okay, driving the left knee in, activating the left hip flexor. Good. Release the left foot back to high plank, down to knees if you want to take it. You can always stay in high plank as well. You can take a child's pose in between. Okay. Good. 3 more. Nice and strong. Drive that knee in here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Down to knees or child's pose. Okay, it's just a quick recovery, a breath or 2. Okay, 2 more. Drive the knee in. See if you can lift the knee even a little bit higher. Okay, last breath here. High plank. Relax. Okay, and last activation in that left hip flexor, strengthening the left hip flexor. Drive the knee in, bring it closer to your chest. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1. High plank, down to knees, child's pose. Thanks for joining me in how to activate your hips. I hope that your hips feel a little bit more open, that you have a deeper awareness to your muscles and a deeper connection to your body. If you're also feeling tight in your upper body and your shoulders, please go check out my video on improving shoulder mobility. Our bodies are super connected from our toes all the way up to our head, so all these things align and work together.
They are on the...
Check out, pause. Check out this yoga. Don't check it out. Oh, I need all that? Deep breath. Bleh.